Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&D Reviews here with a different type of video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my pick for the top 10 upcoming banners in Fate Grand Order NA in 2019. The point of this guide is going to be to help new players and veterans alike plan out their quartz spending over the course of the year so that you get the most value for your rolls. And I'm going to base my projections off the JP release schedule for 2017, so that's what we've been following so far. Keep in mind that the dates and the banners though are subject to change, but these dates and rate ups are going to be the best approximation available for North American players. As for how I'm going to be judging my picks for the banners, I'm not just going to be judging them based on how good the servants are, but also how good the craft essences are that are available, how many servants are available, how limited those servants are, and I'm trying to account for all factors. Again, this is going to be based on the total value of the banner, not just the rate up servant. I'm going to be excluding the guaranteed gacha from this list, and I'm going to be counting all banners within a given event or campaign as a single entry, because oftentimes they're going to overlap or occur simultaneously. For example, the Valentines Day event has 3 separate banners, but I'm going to count them all as one entry because they occur at the same time, and they have overlapping servants and craft essence rate ups. Likewise, I'm also going to be including singularities with multiple rate ups as one entry, so if a singularity has a part 1 and a part 2, I'm counting that as one entry because again, they usually overlap. And finally, of course, there's going to be a little bit of spoilers for what servants are going to be coming out this year, so if you don't want to see what servants are going to be released this year, or you don't want to know about any of the new classes we're getting, then you can turn away right now. I'll also drop a link in the description below to a list of all the upcoming banners, so you can see them all in more detail if you want to check them out. But for now, on to the list. Rounding off our list at number 10, we have Salem, aka Epoch of Remnant Chapter 4. This banner should be dropping sometime in December. As far as notable rate ups go, we have Abigail, the limited 5-star, and Sheba, the 4-star caster. We also have Okeanis caster on rate up, as well as Nezha Lancer, another couple of 4-stars. What separates Salem from a lot of the other story banners, of course, is the inclusion of a brand new class, that being Abigail as the Foreigner. Foreigners are a special class with advantage over Berserkers, so they're pretty useful. And Abigail herself is a very limited servant, so she gets points for that, and she's also pretty good. But while Abigail is a really good 5-star, what really sets this banner apart from the others is a really solid lineup of 4-star servants. Sheba is a fantastic single target arts caster. She works similar to Nursery Rhyme but with more of a focus on boss killing. While Nezha and Okeanis caster both provide unique gameplay, Nezha being a quick buster lancer that also focuses on crits, and Okeanis caster having a pretty unique skill set. Overall, I would say the selection of servants on this banner is well above average. One of the major downsides of this gacha though is it occurs right before New Year's, making it somewhat of a bait banner, especially when you consider that a much better foreigner servant is going to be on rate up for New Year's. And while the lineup of servants is solid, it's overshadowed by many other gachas on this list, and finally, there's just not that many unique or interesting craft essences on rate up. So solid overall, but definitely lacking in the craft essence department, and it just comes out at a really bad time. Coming in at number 9, we have the Prisma Illya movie gacha. This should occur in late August, and as the name suggests, this is an Illya gacha. The notable rate ups are, of course, Illya herself, as well as the Magical Girl of Sapphire craft essence and the Kill on Sight craft essence. Illya is one of the best offensive casters in the game in my opinion, and she's well worth her weight in quartz. She's also exceedingly rare, so this is going to be your best opportunity to get her for quite some time. So if you're in the market for a strong buster caster, you really can't go wrong with Illya, but even more so than that, you also have a fantastic selection of craft essences on rate up. Magical Girl of Sapphire is one of my favorite craft essences in the game, and I would consider it a top 10 craft essence. It's absolutely phenomenal for any kind of support servant that needs to spam their Noble Phantasm, so servants like Tamamo, Waver, Merlin, all benefit tremendously from this. And it's a limited craft essence, which makes it all the more valuable. Kill on Sight is another good craft essence to get as well. It's a very good budget craft essence for some offensive art servants like Nursery Rhyme or Saber Lancelot. Also keep in mind that the Prisma Illya event has taken a long time to get a rerun. We've just got a rerun announced in JP that's starting this week, which means if you don't roll for Illya and those craft essences right now, your next best shot is going to be in 2 years in 2021. However, there is a severe lack of variety in this raid up. There's just simply no other raid up servants aside from Illya. And another major problem that contributes to this gacha's rank is that the likelihood of us getting it is up in the air. Because this gacha is tied to a specific movie promo in Japan, it just doesn't make sense for it to fit in any of our current lineup of events. We may get it, we may not get it, it's not 100% certain. In fact, this is the gacha I'm least certain about in this list, so take it with a grain of salt. But if we do get it, it is definitely worth rolling for if you want these craft essences and if you're an Illya fan. And of course you knew this gacha was going to be on the list, the Christmas gacha for Christmas 2019. Obviously this is going to be occurring sometime in mid to late December to fit the Christmas season, and the notable raid ups for this gacha include Ereshkigal herself, as well as Caster Gil and the Starry Nights craft essence. On top of those raid ups, there are also going to be raid ups for Altera Saber, Medusa Lancer, and Ushiwakamaru Rider. And the Party Time and Snow Pirates craft essences are going to be on raid up as well. However, I do think the best takeaways from this gacha are going to be Ereshkigal, Caster Gil, and Starry Nights. Both Ereshkigal and Caster Gil actually occupy a very similar role as extremely good offensive supports. Both servants are very capable of supporting a strong offensive team while also being able to farm effectively and deal some good damage. In Caster Gil's case, he's more built for arts teams, while Eresh is more built for buster teams. But both of them are very unique servants that are highly versatile. Ereshkigal herself is also rather rare as a limited servant, so this is going to be one of your prime chances to get her. As for the craft essence department, Starry Nights is another one of my favorite craft essences and an absolute beast. It's a fantastic craft essence for any kind of buster crit servant, aka Gil or Rama. It fits on a variety of top tier servants and is just a really good craft essence to have. And again, it's limited, so this is going to be your best chance to get it. This gacha just has a ton of limited goodies on it, and if you miss out on it, you're going to have to wait a whole year to get it again. However, the rest of the lineup of servants isn't really anything to write home about in my opinion. Of course, Ushiwakamaru is great, but she's very common as a 3-star. Medusa Lancer isn't too amazing, and while I do rate Altera highly, she does have a fair amount of raid ups, so she's anything but rare. So in my opinion, just a little lack of variety here, and of course, whenever you see 2 classes on raid up, you know it's time for spooks. So be careful when rolling for Ereshkigal, you're going to likely end up with quite a handful of Medusa spooks. At number 7 we have Kalia Boys, and this is where we reach the big times. Kalia Boys is going to be occurring in early March, and it's actually going to be a combination of 2 different banners, one from last year and one for this year. So technically, this is going to be a rerun and a new banner tied together as one. I'm considering this one entry because they literally both occur at the same time. It's just 2 separate gachas. With that said, the notable raid ups are going to be Amakusa, Proto-Arthur, Waver, Ku-Alter, Ozymandias, Enkidu, and Tesla. As far as craft essences go, I highly recommend trying to get Teacher and I, Beast Under the Moon, and Talk on the Heated Sands. If that sounds like a lot of notable things, it's because this gacha is huge. Not only do you have those notable servants, but you have every single male story servant available, even the story locked ones, for raid up. So if you're into male servants, this is going to literally be your best time to get them. On top of that, you also have a ton of craft essences that I'm not even going to name all of them. There's approximately 16 craft essences on raid up. One of those gachas is going to include all of the male story servants, while the other one is going to be a lot more simple, just including Amakusa, Astolfo, and Kid Gil. So obviously this is going to get top marks in terms of variety and strength. You have almost every single class in the game represented on Rate Up in this gacha, and there's a ton of power here because several of these servants are top tier, including Waver and Coolter and even a Makusa. So you may be asking, if there's all these great things to say about this banner, it has so many top tier servants, so many Rate Ups, so many strong craft essences, why is it rated number 7 and not number 2 or 1? And that's because it has a fatal flaw. That flaw is Proto Arthur. This isn't a knock against Proto Arthur, but he isn't the strongest saber around. But even that's not the worst part of this gacha. The worst part by far is that because Proto Arthur is always on Rate Up, he's going to limit your chances of getting any of the other Rate Up servants by half. He splits the gacha with every other Rate Up servant, which means your chance of getting Waver or Arjuna or Ku or Ozzy is drastically lowered. And the same problem occurs with the craft essences. Yes, a lot of these craft essences are good, but there's simply too many of them on Rate Up at the same time, making it very difficult to get the good ones. The gacha pools in both of these banners are just too heavily diluted, making getting what you want really difficult. So this is a high risk, high reward gacha in my opinion, but still it is a very good chance to get a Makusa ruler, so it is worth it. And of course, when you mention White Day, you have to mention Valentine's Day. At number 6, we have the Valentines Day Rerun event, which should occur in early February. Notable Rate Ups for this gacha include Mysterious Heroine X Alter, Jean, Tamamo, Jack, Sanzo, Quetzalcoatl, and for craft essences we have Cute Orangette, Choco Angel, Chocolatier, Street Chocolate Maid, and Kitchen Patissiere. But that's not all, we also have every other female story servant on Rate Up, including story lock servants, very similar to the Kalia Boys event. And the same points apply. There's a ton of variety here because every single class is represented. Whether you want a saber, an archer, a berserker, or even a ruler, you have your chance at getting them. The gacha also includes some story lock servants like Lancer Arturia and Quetzalcoatl, who are very rare, and the craft essences on Rate Up are also tremendously good. Cute Orangette and Choco Angel are very strong, and last year's Street Choco Maid and Kitchen Patissiere are also very good. Aside from the female servants on Rate Up, there's also a third gacha in this event that has all male servants on Rate Up, very similar to Kalia Boys, with Tesla, Arjuna, Karna, and Kidu, Ozymandias, Waver, Vlad, and Coolter all on Rate Up. As for the featured servant, I'm glad to say Mysterious Heroine X Alter is quite a good berserker, and she scales really well into the late game. Plus, she's a Sith Lord. So again, you have a very diverse pool of female Rate Up servants that have individual Rate Ups representing every class and even including story lock servants. You have great craft essences, and even Mysterious Heroine X, the featured servant, is quite good. What's the problem? And again, same problem as Kalia Boys. The split Rate Up between Mysterious Heroine X Alter and everyone else means it's going to be a lot harder to get Jean or Tamamo or Jack or any of the other servants you might want to go for. In addition, the male gacha doesn't have daily Rate Ups at all, which makes it even more risky and not even worth rolling, because all of the male 5 stars are going to be on Rate Up at the same time. The craft essences are also locked to the different gachas, with Chocolatier only being available in the male gacha. Still though, Mysterious Heroine X is a good acquisition, and if you're lucky enough to get that Jean or Tamamo or Jack, it can absolutely make a huge difference in your game. You just have to ask yourself, are you feeling lucky? And now we enter the top 5, and what better way to start it than with summer. At number 5, we have the Summer 2018 Rerun, which should occur in mid-July. Notable Rate Ups include Archer Arturia, Lancer Tamamo, Summer Mordred, and Martha Ruler. And while I consider those to be the top picks out of this gacha, you're still also going to have Anne and Mary Archer, Kyohime Lancer, and Marie Antoinette Castor on Rate Up, as well as the Pirates Party, Twilight Memory, Shiny Goddess, Knights of Marines, and Shaved Ice craft essences, and of course, Meat Wars. So basically, it's a rerun of the Summer 2018 event from last year, so you already know how good it is. This is a very high quality lineup of servants, and includes 2 absolute top tiers in Arturia Archer and Tamamo Lancer. And even though this gacha isn't in the top 3, when it comes to servant quality, I actually consider it one of the best gachas on this list. Simply because Arturia and Tamamo are so good, as are Summer Mordred, Martha Ruler, and even the other summer servants have good niches that they excel at. You just can't go wrong with whatever servant you get from this gacha. Plus, swimsuits. So the gacha has 4 stars that range from solid to very strong, and 2 absolute top tier 5 stars. What's the problem, and why does it not rate higher? It simply has one issue, and that's just poor choice of craft essences. There aren't really that many notably strong craft essences in this gacha. Yes, they look good aesthetically, but they pale in comparison to many of the other craft essences on the gachas in the rest of this list. But if craft essences aren't something that bothers you, then I highly recommend rolling for summer 2018 when it rolls around. And the summer just doesn't end. At number 4, we have the Summer 2019 Gacha, aka the new summer event, which should be occurring in August. The notable rate-ups for this gacha include Nero Caster, Raiko Lancer, Maid Alter Rider, Maeve, and Sanzo. As far as craft essences go, we got White Cruising, Summer Little, and Moment of Midsummer. Now, this might be one of the more controversial picks on this list, but I actually consider the Summer 2019 banner to be better than the Summer 2018 banner. And the reason for that lies more so in the impressive lineup of craft essences. So after complaining about Summer 2018's lack of craft essences, Summer 2019 more than makes up for it. Moment of Midsummer is a fantastic, quick craft essence. It improves quick card effectiveness, crit strength, and grants crit stars, which is very strong for self-sufficient, quick crit servants like Okita and Ku Prototype. On top of that, White Cruising serves a very good niche, appealing to the arts buster servants like Illya and Nero Caster, while Summer Little is very strong on anyone who values NP gain, NP strength, and crit strength, which is a lot of servants. So overall, a very impressive lineup of craft essences. But that's not where it ends. We also have a good lineup of servants. Raiko Lancer is absolutely a top tier Lancer, better than most 5-star Lancers, while the rest of the summer servants range from average to very good. In particular, Nero Caster is a strong offensive caster, as is Sanzo, so this is going to be another instance where you can get some good, strong offensive casters on your side, and there's just overall a ton of variety in classes to pick from. My one gripe with Summer 2019 really comes down to quantity over quality. Like I said, I think the Summer 2018 gacha has some of the best servants, and that holds true here. Even though there's far less servants on rate up in Summer 2018, I think the quality of the servants there is overall much better. Not to say that Nero or Maid Alter is bad, they're just nowhere near as good as Archer Arturia or Lancer Tamamo. The only real standout here in terms of a top tier servant is Raiko Lancer. But I think it's balanced out by having some incredibly strong craft essences, so the call is up to you. Either way, you can't go wrong with either summer banner. And now we're entering the home stretch with the top 3 gachas for 2019, starting off with Nero Fest. Nero Fest should be occurring sometime in early September, and the notable rate-ups for this gacha include Nero, Nero Bride, Brynhilda, and Battle Olympia as the craft essence. Picking my top 3 gachas was incredibly challenging as they're all extremely good for different reasons. In terms of Nero Fest, it just has some unbelievable quality servants on rate-up. Nero Bride and Brynhilda are arguably the best servants in their respective classes, and both of them are really limited and rare. So this is going to be a great chance to pick up 2 of the best servants in the game in the same gacha. And if you have either of them, you're pretty much set for life. To top it off, 4-star Nero is also very good and very underrated. There's also some good limited craft essences available on rate up, including Battle Olympia, which again appeals to the arts buster servants like Illya and Nero Caster. So while this gacha doesn't offer much, it offers a lot in terms of quality. On the downside though, there is a lack of variety, so unless you're really gunning hard for Nero Bride or Brynhilda, you might want to save your quartz for a more lucrative gacha. On top of that, of course, you're going to have to deal with the 4-star Nero spooks if you're rolling for Nero Bride, so keep that in mind. However, if Brynhilda and Nero Bride do appeal to you, this is going to be possibly your best chance to get both of them at the same time. Taking the number 2 spot, we have Epoch of Remnant Chapter 3, which should occur in mid-October. Notable rate-ups for this gacha include Musashi, Raiko, Shuten, Yagyu, Inshun, Infernal Archer, and Danzo. Now, this is, in my opinion, the best story gacha in the whole game. It has the absolute best lineup of rate-up servants by far. All 3 of the 5-star servants in this gacha are limited servants, and all 3 of them are top tier. Musashi is arguably the best damage dealing saber in the game, Raiko is one of the best farming servants and best berserkers in the game, and Shuten is an absolute beast of a support who's even gotten much stronger offensively thanks to a recent buff in JP. But that's not where it ends. You also have incredible quality at the 3-star and 4-star level. Yagyu is one of the best 4-star servants, period. In fact, he's better than many 5-star sabers. Meanwhile, Archer Inferno and Kato Danzo are 2 very underrated servants who perform very well in niche situations. And then when it comes to the 3 stars on rate up, you of course have Fuma, who I consider one of the best 3-star assassins, and then you have Inshun. Inshun is an absolutely disgustingly overpowered 3-star Lancer who has drawn comparisons to Ku himself. The fact of the matter is, Inshun is actually better than the vast majority of 4-star and even some 5-star Lancers, and is just one of the best 3-star servants, period. When it comes to pure servant quality, there's no gacha on this list, or really in my memory, that's better than EOR 3. You have 3 incredibly strong and highly limited servants on rate up for 5 stars, you have some very solid and strong 4 stars on rate up, and you have a game-breaking 3-star on rate up. No matter which servant you get in this gacha, you are going to win. My only issue with this gacha is that I'm taking craft essences into account, and it just simply does not have a strong lineup of craft essences on rate up. If craft essences do not matter to you at all and all you want is a good chance to get a top tier servant, I cannot recommend a better gacha than EOR 3. However, when you take everything into account, including craft essences, then we have our number 1 spot. Taking the gold and the number 1 spot, and the gacha that I consider to be the absolute best in 2019 is CCC. This gacha should drop sometime in May, and the notable rate-ups include Melt, Passion Lip, Kiara, Suzuka, Emiya Alter, and for craft essences, you have Our Conquest is the Sea of Stars. What sets the CCC gacha apart from most gachas, including even EOR 3, is the incredible amount of just purely limited servants in it. Yes, Musashi, Shuten, and Raiko are limited, but they also have a fair amount of rate-ups. Melt, Kiara, and Passion Lip are limited and have very few rate-ups in comparison. So this is going to actually be one of the only times you'll be able to obtain them outside of a guaranteed gacha. So the incredible rarity of these servants is one thing. The other major factor is, of course, this gacha is introducing a new class, that being the Alter Ego class. And all 3 of those limited servants I just mentioned are alter egos, making their value even better because this is going to be one of your only chances to obtain a rare class of servant. But their rarity and their class isn't the only things that make them great. In my opinion, Melt is one of the top quick servants in the entire game and very strong for tougher content. Passion Lip is heavily underrated and in my opinion one of the better 4-star servants in the game, while Kiara is also a very good art servant. But even those servants aside, you also have a good lineup of craft essences. Specifically in regards to Our Conquest is the Sea of Stars. This is one of the top buster craft essences in the game, and I mentioned it in a couple of my spotlights. It's also limited, so this is going to be one of your only chances to get this craft essence. So this gacha just screams limited, and it has quality servants and quality craft essences. Even the other 4 stars on Raid Up that aren't alter egos are still pretty solid. Suzuka is pretty good, as well as Emiya Alter, and of course Lancer Liz. But what really sells this gacha is the alter egos and the strong craft essences, and also the fact that we have not had a CCC rerun yet in JP, which means you're going to have to potentially wait another 2 years at minimum before you can see this banner again. So overall, in my opinion, between these limited servants and these limited craft essences and the quality of these servants and craft essences, I believe that the CCC gacha just gives you the most value for your quartz. You're going to walk out of this gacha with something worthwhile in all likelihood. I will still say the only issue I have with this gacha is that I still do think that the EOR 3 lineup of servants is overall better. There's just no beating the triumvirate that is Musashi, Raiko, and Shuten all on Raid Up. But that one comparison aside, this gacha holds up to pretty much any other gacha in the entire game as being one of the best. And those are my top 10 picks for the upcoming gachas in FGO&A for 2019. I hope it helped you guys better decide where you want to spend your quartz. And if you want to see more, just check out that link in the description below so you can see all the banners coming up in FGO&A so you can better plan out how you want to save your quartz. Of course, let me know in the comments below what your top 10 choices for the gachas are in 2019, as well as what you're planning to roll for and which servants you're hoping to get. If this video did help you, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing. Also, if you haven't already, please do join the party over our Discord, follow us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter. And I'll see you guys in the next Servant Spotlight or Countdown video. Soberoni, signing out. Later.